inception of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, the power sector, had a vision to provide the nation with adequate and reliable power supply by implementing generation, transmission and distribution projects in the sector, and facilitate the emergence of a private sector-led competitive and efficient electric power industry. Also, to initiate and formulate broad policies and programs on the development of the power sector in general. This is Boldfaces, a future interview documentary program designed to capture the realities, activities, challenges, and achievements of the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing under the leadership of His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN. My name is Tricia Eseigbe Kerry, and I'm your host. Let's step into the next level with the Honorable Minister and his team as they talk us through their bold strides in building the backbone for our nation's infrastructural development.
On the 8th day of December 2015, the Honorable Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, set out the agenda for delivering change in the Nigerian power sector and stated what the government inherited, what they plan to do, and what members of the public should expect from them come 2019. On assumption of office, the minister set out a mandate to improve power and gas supply, increase transmission capacity, and pay MDA debt. The minister was inspired to create a different power supply experience for Nigerians by getting incremental power, then proceed to stable power, and hopefully reach uninterrupted power supply in 2019 and beyond.
I think that we have delivered on our promise. We are in the first phase of that journey. Incremental power has been delivered, generation has increased to 7,000 megawatts from 4,000. We're still counting. More power plants are coming to completion in places like Afam, Kashimbila, Kaduna, Gurara. They will complete in their various completion cycle over the next few weeks to another 18 months. We are contracting more bigger power plants like Mambila, whose construction should start soon enough.
Why do we carry? The sector generates 2-something megawatts. It's not up to 3,000 megawatts. But today, we are generating over 7,000 megawatts. The government has invested in almost all the sectors, the generation, the transmission, and even the distribution.
In that sense, we have worked our talk that we will increase the power supply. We have also increased the power to transmit the power. The grid was 5,000 megawatt capacity in 2015. It is now 7,124 and expanding with many projects and with many other developmental support finance that we are receiving.
So we made generation at a very low ebb of less than 4,000 megawatts. And the consistency of the administration's resolve to make sure that we keep our promise, we're able to up the generation in the first year from about 4,000 megawatts to up to about 5,000 megawatts with another year increase. We also upped it to about 6,000 till we are today at about 7,000 megawatts.
Distribution has also improved from where it was, but there is room to do more. We are addressing that. Today we just met with the new director nominees that will go into the distribution companies to provide human capacity support in terms of governance, technical, legal, labor, financing, and all of the issues that the discos are dealing with. So those will take office in January, so they will also deal with the issues of customer service, estimated billing, meter supply challenges. We have put in the policies. It's for the distribution companies now to operate and mechanize those policies to translate into results.
Over the last 3.5 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's leadership, the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing can proudly report that this government has worked assiduously to deliver visible results and recorded qualitative progress in the Nigerian power sector.
You all know now the generation capacity have improved to over 7,000 megawatts. Even the transmission as a group, which is directly federal government on. But unfortunately, the distribution, section is a problem. In some cases, government still has to intervene to provide transformers. And that's why we even came up with this eligible, customer policy. If you have, if you need, if you want power, you can directly go to TCN and deal directly with TCN.
Whose power?
Well, there's a lot here, really. If you talk of transmission projects, we finished the transmission substation in Mayobewa and Adamawa. We finished the one in Maiduguri in Borno, which was ravaged by insurgency. We finished the one in Damaturu in Yobe, also destroyed by insurgents. We finished the one in Sokoto. We finished the one in Odogunya in Lagos. We've expanded the Eseigbe in Lagos. We finished Akpo in Abuja.
If you're keeping track, we are almost every day commissioning. I have done quite a few. I have commissioned an upgrade, if I may start, with Gombe. I have commissioned an upgrade in Lagos. We have done in Surulere. We have commissioned an upgrade there. I have commissioned in Oshogbo. I have commissioned in Zaria.
We've completed phase 1 of the Ikot-Ekpene line by completing the switching station. Work is going on the Ikot-Ekpene to Ikot-Abase line. There are 90 of those substation work going on in different parts of the country at different stages. The Kashimbila power project has essentially been finished. We are nearing completion of the Kaduna power plant. 2 turbines are ready to go. We are also nearing the completion of the Afam fast power plant. All the 8 turbines are in place. Gas is being tested. There's just a lot that is going on simultaneously.
So we have how many of these did you say?
We have 150, 100 kVA transformers.
How now?
To all the traders, businessmen and women in this market, I say well done for contributing to national productivity and job creation. I salute your fortitude over the years when no previous government attended to your concerns.
They are giving us light from 7 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. It has been a very steady power supply. We have not experienced this kind of thing.
Excellency, this is ease of doing business. Some of the things you have not heard is that there used to be 6,000 generators here, supplying power in an inefficient way.
These are the ordinary men and women who drive an economy. They are in markets, they are in shopping malls, they are in street corners, they are in small shops. They constitute the base of any economy that I have seen in the world. They are hard-working, ordinary people. So our ease of doing business targets them specifically. First, by understanding that energy is an important component of their business. And as you've heard from some of the shop owners today, they pay sometimes 2,000 naira a day, 1,500 naira a day, 5,000 a week, just to supply energy. Now the solution we have brought for them has reduced that cost.
When you see a serious, focused government, well-focused government, a government that has the mind to serve Nigerians, a government that is well-focused, a government that is determined to take Nigerians out of the woods. It's a great privilege and a great honor and a great opportunity for me to be part of that government.
The Energizing Economies Initiative aspires to increase energy access and economic growth by assisting private sector developers to provide clean and affordable power to economic clusters and shopping centers like we are here today and industrial clusters. Over the next 5 years, we will reach 500,000 small businesses within 350 economic zones. The role of the federal government of Nigeria has been critical in this program. It has helped with providing initial data intelligence energy audit, program management support, community relation support, and stakeholder management.
Does this country have the capacity to provide for all its citizens, to provide education, to provide healthcare, to provide power? Do we have the capacity? I think so. I think we have the capacity. We will have the capacity. The only problem is that we as individuals must also be able to say that we will not stand for people stealing the resources of this country.
Since constant electricity came to Sura Shopping Complex at affordable rates, my employees and I have been working for longer hours in a more conducive and serene environment. I don't have to worry anymore about my tailoring equipment overheating or about the unhealthy work conditions in heat and darkness. I have also employed more staff, and our production level has increased greatly.
Your generator time has reduced, your fuel consumption time has reduced, your public power supply has improved, but is not yet there, and there is still work to do. So I say to people, into the election, you have a choice to make. This is now a choice between moving forward and going backwards.
The whole idea is to provide these clusters with steady 24/7 power using solar most of the time, although there may be occasions where we may use other forms of power. But this is really what this is about. And we've been around, we've seen and heard the testimonies of so many of the businesses who are saying they're now able to work 24/7, their profits have gone up, they're able to employ more people. So really this is working. We're excited about it, and we want to ensure that this goes around the country and all small businesses are able to benefit from it.
It has responded to the people President Buhari is most concerned about. Small businesses, hard-working, ordinary Nigerians who just want to get on with their lives if they have the infrastructure. So the Buhari government has delivered here again. For 1,000 shops containing several hundreds of ordinary people trying to get on and earn a living and put food on the table. The other significance is that this is a precursor to Area market. This is 1,047 shops. Area will be 37,000 shops. Sabongari will be 13,000 shops. Balogun, Iponri, Dugbe, and other markets across the country are waiting for this. So proof now is that it will happen. It has happened. It can work.
Some of the projects that I'm telling you were commissioned were done in-house by engineers of the TCN.
This is Eseigbe TS. Before, the capacity of this station was 120 capacity. That's 120 megawatt capacity. But now, 120 MVA capacity before. But now, if you see what is in place now, this is 100 MVA transformer. We call it T1 100 MVA. We have T2 100 MVA. There are new transformer put in place by government. The government have really tried to, in this place of expansion of the station, so that people, the community, will enjoy uninterrupted power supply. Formerly, the T1 was a 30 MVA transformer before, being replaced by 100 MVA transformer now. Likewise, T2 was a 30 MVA transformer before, now replaced with a 100 MVA transformer.
We have commissioned Pankshin also, and then the one in Jaws have been completed, deployed for service, and I think it has not officially been commissioned. So we are doing a lot of rapid. As I speak with you now, we are building a new substation in quite a number of places, including Sokoto, another one in Katsina, and another one in Biliri, Gombe State.
Well, Raji, I have come to the reality that the reason why government exists is because there are problems, and every government inherits its own problems. And I think that we had our fair share. I think the biggest problem really was that the economy was already tumbling down. The recession we entered when we came in was predicted. We also lost the nation's revenue base. The oil prices dropped. So that was a very, very deep valley from which to start climbing out. And in my sector, some of the problems I've shared in power, we had equipment, for example, trapped in the port, containers that we could have used quickly to deploy to the projects, dozens of projects across the country where those containers were ordered for, but they were not paid for, so they were trapped in the port.
So we retrieved those and we are now putting them back on track. We inherited contractors on our power project sites that were not paid.
The purchasing power of the economy was dwindling if workers were not working. So the recipe for that recession was already written before we came in. And so it was our responsibility to claw our way back out of it through a large fiscal spending program. So while the prices of oil had dropped to, I think, about below $50 initially and later below $30, we budgeted a sum of 6 trillion as our first budget in 2016, over 4 trillion that was budgeted before us when the prices of oil were $100 per barrel. So we just decided to spend more, to inject more, and to invest it in infrastructure, even though we had less.
When I last came here, the switchyard behind us here wasn't constructed, is now constructed. We now have the fuel tanks also constructed. They were not constructed when last I came. We also have tested 4 of the turbines preparatory to commissioning. So we are essentially 4 turbines ready to go. So every megawatt that you can deliver from here, each turbine is 25 megawatt. You have 8 of them. Every time you switch on even 1 megawatt, is additional power. So if you can put on 4 turbines, that's 100 in this place, and we go then to deal with the distribution problem. So clearly this boosts our incremental power objective, and then we're on our way. It's just going to take those man hours and those challenges to get where we're going. But if you look back to where we were a year and a half or so when I came here and where we are, clearly there has been progress.
There are so many of these projects going on in many parts of the country already. As I told you, the Kerry work will finish in June. There is another transmission expansion and quality improvement in Lagos. In total, this year alone, we will hand over at least 90 nationwide. This is part of the expansion of not only the transmission service capacity, but the transmission service quality. There have been funding in the past for projects that haven't been completed, and those are the things that we're just focusing on getting done. Because really and truly, if you buy something and you don't optimize it, why should you legitimately want to buy another one? So you will also see at least 100 distribution projects by the NDPHC in the course of the year, nationwide also. They will help. You might also recall that reported that Council had approved the distribution expansion intervention to help us uptake the close to 2,000 megawatt power that we cannot distribute. So all of that is also coming in the course of the year to improve the amount of power that is distributed over 5,000.
Handover ceremony for the project for emergency improvements of electricity supply facilities in Abuja. 2 years ago, during the signing ceremony of this same project, I had mentioned the priority the government of Japan places on its support to Nigeria's power sector for 2 reasons. First, this sector plays a critical role in the improvement of the quality of life for the people and the promotion of local industry. And second, the status of the sector is one of the key factors for both domestic and foreign investors alike in the investment decision. Today, I'm very glad to witness, together with the Honorable Minister, Mr. Fashola, the completion of the project.
Now, let me say that in the last 20-something months that I have been in Abuja, so many things for the better have taken place. Projects that seem to have lost their momentum have gained their momentum back. And slowly but surely, even if you close your eyes, you will feel the construction that is going on now in Abuja. And that is change. So when people ask you, where is the change? Point it to them.
The happiness, the honor, the privilege of commissioning this amazing 85 kilowatts for our people here in Babatunde. Well done to all of you, to the team that did this. God will bless you, and this will bring development. Their economic profile will increase. Their social life will improve. Thank you. God bless you. And I have to thank Mr. President for this initiative, because it is under him that we are seeing things like this. God bless him. God bless the Federal Minister of Power, Works and Housing.
Power distribution grew in over 100 injection substations, with other distribution expansion program funded by the federal government now in an advanced state of procurement and execution. The minister acknowledged, in moving forward, more will be done, and stated it is indisputable that the Buhari government has delivered on incremental power since assumption of office.
Like all other infrastructure, the power infrastructure was long overdue for overhaul. And because of that, we have constant power failures because of the failure of maybe a transmission line, a failure of a pylon, and some of the assets not being to standard. Now, a lot of the substations we have been upgraded with the advent of this administration. A lot of the substations we have been upgraded. Some that were 30 MVA before are now upgraded to between 60 and 90 MVA all across this country. New lines have been deployed. New substations have been constructed, and we are still constructing.
The evidence of this government progress is also captured in the last quarter of the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) report for Q2 2018, which shows a growth of 7.5% in the electricity sector. Previous quarterly report from 2017 has consistently recorded growth. It cleared the partial from 2014 to 2015. That's a proof of change.
We've seen satisfied customers who have a change of experience from inefficient petrol-fired generators to clean solar systems, and they're now asking for more power. They want 2 fans instead of 1, And those are pricing issues, those are challenges that come with change, and I'm sure that the service providers will respond.
Yana taimaka mana sosai wajen taskace kuɗi. Maimakon da in zaka kashe naira 1,000 a kullum a inji, ita ko sai sola abin da zaka kashe bai fi naira 100-150 ba a kullum.
There's a big difference between solar and generator. There's no smoke about the solar, but the generator have a smoke. So it's disturbing us, so I love the solar better than the generator.
I like it very well. I see it is better than even NEPA this one kind. I'm very enjoyed by modern NEPA. This one, it's okay for me. I like it.
All the countries we want to be like have a combination of power on grid and power off grid. We didn't have off grid power, except in a few interventions that I piloted when I was governor in Lagos. So as a national policy now, we initiated a national mini-grid policy. The regulations have come up. What does it say? It says that if you want to generate up to 100 kilowatts, and that's a lot of energy in a cluster, please do so. These are the processes for doing so, but you don't need a license. When you finish, come and register with NERC, so that NERC knows that there's 100 kilowatts of energy down that road.
The sustainable progress recorded in the last 3.5 years shows that we must move forward by consolidating on this present administration's mandate of realistic physical change. Your experience with power supply can only get better as we journey into the next level of change for our nation's prosperity.
Welcome back. Over the last 3.5 years, the power sector of the Federal Ministry of Power Works and Housing has electricity moved from 4,000 megawatts to 7,000 megawatts. That's an increase of about 3,000 megawatts, now averaging 1,000 megawatts per year. It's indisputable that power supply has improved over the last 3.5 years. Special thanks to President Muhammadu Buhari and the Honorable Minister of Power Works and Housing, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola SAN, for such a qualitative achievement in the power sector. Thanks for watching, and see you next week as the Federal Ministry of Power Works and Housing serialization continues with the Works and Housing Ministry. Be good and stay positive. My name is Tricia Eseigbe Kerry. See you next week.